Are you a beginner in fashion and want to know what to consider when analyzing any type of design? Don't worry, it might seem like a difficult task, but anyone can do it. This video will teach you the factors you need to consider when analyzing any design or a piece of clothing. Analyzing a piece of clothing is essential to know the best combinations, types of clothing, or models to use. With this knowledge we can understand all more. However, not everything is learned overnight. As you analyze and also take over reference from magazines and fashion gurus, your fashion IQ will grow. This is Richercollections, my name is Ricardo, and we're starting now. Visual impact is one of the most main characteristics that a designer seeks to stand out, and stand out in the environment. After all, as we know, people act with the eyes, and it's their first impression that make others analyze the design in detail. Among the factors that most contribute to visual impact in a design, we have the following. Contrast. The correct choice of colors and contours in a design will make it stand out much more. The more details the design contains, we must check if it stands up with a good contrast. The caring relationship between the background and the elements. The chromatic scale of each color contrasts with its opposite pairs. This makes each color have a perfect companion as a background. However, there is also a possibility that a design is attractive even when there are little contrast, as long as the purpose of the design is to look very homogeneous. Shadows. The use of shadows is also important because it helps to outline objects that have similar colors to the background, where they are placed, denoting the existence of reliefs and dimensions. Borders. Many times in a design we see that when using certain colors the desired contrast is not achieved. When we implement an intermediate element it can be appreciated. The use of border acts as mediator between the background and the object. Of course, they are not an obligatory element since there are styles where they practically do not exist. Everything depends on the design. Visual weight. In a design there will always be areas where attention will be drawn, where there will be more content or details than in others. The idea here is to discover the visual path that will allow to the cover reading of the design, having attention from the beginning to the end. Dark colors stand out more if the background is light, and vice versa. It's also applicable light colors stand out if the background is dark. The way of color versus one color will depend on the contrast they generate with the background. Saturated colors are stronger than translucent colors. Depending on the printing area, we will have segments that visually will give us a direction in which the design develops, which is known as the line of force. The line of force are ordered as we add the elements. Among them are simple styles that follow one or two directions, for example, cross, diagonal, and symmetrical lines. We have also polyhedrical lines with pyramids and white-based triangle, also circular and radial lines, and freestyle lines of force. Style. The style when it comes to visual impact is given by the amount of time that other people use to read the design. Each type in this case has a particularity that makes it faster to read than others. This gap is also given by the amount of content put into the design. We must think about the type of design we look. For example, we have simple that it occupies the minimum cover surface, is composed of simple objects without many details, easy to read. We have also the oversaturated. The amount of content per printed part is extremely high, and balance. It occurs important part of the garment without reaching to the previous extremes. An ideal design is both readable and impactful. The attention and amount of seconds of retention that it takes a person to read the design is essential. For example, we see from the fruit niche how both simple and saturated designs are of short reading because in one is very simple and the other is fatter. After it's oversaturated, our brain helps the design to complement the rest. However, the balanced design in this case has a measure prolongs attention making observers. Type of garment. When we do a breakdown of a design, the type of garment based on the following parameters. Dimensions. The proportion of the design refers to the shape in printing areas. In this case, it's necessary to discern the similarity between the printing area of the design and the area of the garment. Model profile. The values of Richercollections are expressed in their motto. Everybody is a unique canvas with its own artist. This means that each person has a unique body and profile characteristics. In a fashion analysis, we should always highlight the physical parts that make us look better. That is why the direction of the design is very important, as we can outline the visual path from the beginning to the end for different parts of the body. Material. The material of garment refers to various elements such as the perception of physical content and texture. The evolution of fashion has achieved new materials and has achieved mixtures between them. Materials are the basis of each garment as they set the guidelines and limits of creativity. They give us a vision of how they bring ideas to reality. The materials of garments are categorized according to their origin. It can be of synthetic origin, which are materials derived from carbon and other minerals, vegetable, which are plant fibers such as cotton, lime, among others, and animals, which are elements derived from animal dermis, fur, skin, leather, among others. To familiarize ourselves with this factor, we can start by observing the labels on the clothes that we have in our closet and reading their composition. Then with a touch, smell, and visual appearance, we can familiarize ourselves so that in the future, even from afar at a glance, we will already know that any garment is made of. Another detail is that the more difficult it is to implement, the more valuable it can be the design and the garment. Garment style. Each garment, whether simple or unique, corresponds to a category within fashion that allows to identify more precisely. The elements that can differentiate one category from another go hand in hand with the coverage areas and cuts. Among these garments we find different types of shirts, pants, jackets, skirts, dress, and others. Content. The content of each design is based on individual imagination, so we should look in the creative and the feelings on design analysis, and in this way we can have an idea about memories and things that can be translated in different ways on people's minds. But the other factors above are what capture attention. The content is the icing on the cake and often makes the garment desirable and stay in our memory forever. Personal vibes. The personality that the person transmits physically is a very important factor. It is important to emphasize that it's not the personality itself, but the one that it projects together with its style and it helps to stand out more with the environment. These factors do not correspond to fashion design, but it's a piece of puzzle as apart from the garment and the physical appearance. It is the own body language, facial expression, gesture, the way of speaking, and the message that make us stay aligned aesthetically. To conclude this video, I invite you to take a notebook or a piece of paper and try to analyze a garment that has caught your attention. By placing all the factors mentioned above one by one, making the technical sheet of the garment you select. What do you think of today's video? Do you have any particular way of evaluating fashion designs? Let us know in the comment box below. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell. See you in another video.